Alright, Project Trailer Park is in full effect. Just to get everybody up to speed, this is my duplex. I'm renting out the front over here. This is a 3-bedroom house, and I'm renting out every single bedroom, and it's doing pretty well. It's pretty much paying my mortgage, and this is my back unit. I'm living here. Now, in my backyard, I had so much space, I figured I wanted to experiment with Airbnb, and I wanted to go ahead and buy an Airstream to rent out. However, it's a lot of, I just created a list of all the stuff that I actually need to do before it's ready to be rented out, and my head started to spin. It's a lot of work, and you always imagine and daydream about how awesome everything's going to be, but then when you actually get the Airstream, it's like, you just, like, the gravity of the situation, kind of hits you, like, wow, I have a lot of stuff to do. Well, let me show you around. So first of all, I think it'd be nice to paint this wall white here and do a little landscaping over here. This used to be some basketball hoop. I'm going to get a shovel and dig this out and put some nice plants here. Another issue is I don't want, when I'm renting out this Airbnb, I don't want the renters kind of to be walking past the main house and disturbing my regular tenants. So I figured I'll have an alleyway access here. So what I need to, it's the only thing here. It's a little dark here at night. I might attach some kind of lights here, so it's just not so spooky. It's a typical alleyway. I want to attach some kind of combination lock here, so renters can just go ahead. So I don't have to. So when people rent this thing out, nobody has to check in with me. I just go ahead and just give them the code to the Airstream and give them the code to the back alley, and just kind of like block this section off. So boom, so people don't. I feel like people just want to rent something and just stay something. People don't really want to meet somebody at a certain time and interact with anybody. So I think everything's going to be easier. Alright, so here she is. You can see here, I'm going to get a couple of these shade triangles when I go on Pinterest to get ideas. By the way, if you type in Airstream into Pinterest, you'll get really inspired. There's a ton of really cool setups. Very common is to have two kind of like nice lawn chairs here, a table. I'm gonna get the shade triangle mounted up here somewhere with maybe some nice string lights. As far as the Airstream here, we knew the electricity was working, but wasn't quite sure what the condition of the water pipes are. They probably need a lot of work. So here she is. First things first, we took out the smelly couch cushions here. We're gonna buy brand new foam and get brand new fabric here. I consulted with a friend and I thought I was gonna take these off or paint them, but what I'm gonna try first, there's some Clorox bleach, some kind of like shower degreaser I read online, and then if you get Mr. Clean magic erasers, the combination of these two, I really hope we'll get if you scrub them hard enough, we'll get these things back to new. So I want to keep this whole vintage look. I don't want to, kind of bastardize this place by just ripping everything out and putting cheap IKEA stuff in here, because I think it's kind of cute and cozy the way it is, because if you're staying here, you do feel like this is like a nice vintage thing. So moving on here. I need to go ahead and refill the the propane containers. We weren't able to test if this propane thing works here, the heater. However, it would be, I think, be almost irrelevant, because right here we're putting in an air conditioning, and this air conditioning is going to have like a heating thing as well. And if not, I could just get a tiny little space heater and plug it in. I'm sure it'll be perfectly enough to heat this whole place. Uh, the stove, again, we don't have propane, so we can't tell if it's working. However, I'm not sure if that's going to be such a big deal because I don't know if I want people cooking in here anyway. So it's going to be a lot of cleanup. Get a nice mattress here. What else? Maybe there's a way I can unscrew these and unscrew these lights, get the bugs out of here. But I don't know. Might need to look into. There might be a liquid you can dip the stuff into, and try to get it back to bright white. The good news here is, check this out. So this refrigerator works on propane and electricity. So we plug this Airstream in, and my friend Weldon, he switched it to electricity, and I was very pleasantly surprised that it got cold. And in the fridge, we're left with, I think these were the original Airstream little ice things. Which is really neat. Look pretty vintage. Whew, sweating balls here. It's almost 90 degrees here. This smoke hood works. It makes a lot of noise, but I'm still surprised. Hey, it's still working. I think the major issue here is the bathroom. First of all, it's obviously very old and dated. I was potentially planning to take this thing out and use a fiberglass kit, but after consulting with my friend, he said I don't need to bother. I can just go ahead and any kind of cracks here, I can just patch it with a fiberglass kit and then sand it. And then there's a certain paint that you can roll on here and then sand again, and then it'll turn this thing to brand new white. The toilet needs to be replaced here. And if you take a look in here, these are some old copper pipes that probably are leaking. It might need to be replaced with plastic pipes. This is looking a little... yeah, this is the shower, but I think it just needs a nice cleaning. And somebody left a brand new shower curtain. Let me just replace it here. Yeah, keep in mind this is a very small, cramped shower, and is definitely, I think, one of the weaker points as far as, you know, if somebody's going to rent an Airstream as opposed to just renting a small little house, they would have a full-size shower. However, I feel like if this Airbnb really takes off and people are liking it and go ahead and renting it, I might actually even construct an outdoor shower. So that might be, you know, that might be just as good. And as you can see, the Airstream is still on wheels and it's kind of shaking back and forth. After talking to my friend, what you need to do is, I already bought them, get 4 car jacks. Actually, not car jacks, but basically not the ones that you change the tire with, but just RV jacks, and put them underneath the frame, and then that will stabilize the trailer and it will take the pressure off the wheel, so the wheel doesn't go flat. And when you're not here, it's, you know, going to resemble more of like a little house as opposed to an RV, and then you're kind of like, you know, shaking back and forth. Some of these, oops.
Еще раз начни.
Some of these handles are kind of stuck and rusted in. I might need to get some kind of spray with some bolt degreaser and try to see if I can get these things to open up again. However, I feel like maybe once I get the AC in here, it's not going to be that big of a deal because you can just run the air. You don't really need to open the windows. Oh, and the last thing. The last thing is, it would be nice instead of...
Давай еще раз.
The last thing here is, instead of, you know, jumping over here all the time, I'll build something on a couple little steps out of wood. So, you know, you can just, you know, be a lot more convenient to walk up on. And then I feel like that's going to be stage one. The way I feel about it is, I never rented out this backyard Airbnb style. So, not sure I'm not sure how successful it's going to be. So, instead of spending just a ton of money pimping this thing out, what I'm going to do is just the bare essential. Just to give it a trial run, you know, might not even charge full price, might even charge like $50 a night or something, you know, just to get a feel for how this thing goes. And if everything goes well, I could just keep adding to this trailer, make it nicer, raise the price, and eventually, if everything goes really well, get a second trailer over here, and then I'll be really cooking.
А прощаться не будешь?